I have used Claude Code every single day for the last year in my 9 to 5 software engineering job and outside of work shipping my side projects. In this video, I'm sharing the 25 tips that actually make an impact on the way I work, not just the surface level stuff. If you're new to Claude Code, I have a video getting started with Claude Code. I'll link right here. Watch that first. These tips are ordered from simple to advanced, covering the sections of setup, context management, daily commands, and power features. I'm Matt Kuda. Let's dive in. Tip number 1 is to use the Claude Code CLI in the Warp terminal. I like Warp because it gives you a ton of features. You can make a split pane with Command D to show a new Claude Code instance here, Command Shift D to show it down there. You can make a nice grid of features. You also have this left nav where your groups show up and all nicely named. This is zoomed in for the video, but usually I can see all of them at once and see when the features change. This is my project Evex. Zoomed out, it looks like this. I'll have at least 6 terminals open, not necessarily all running at once, but it does give me the option to parallelize work. Tip number 2 is to auto name your sessions with Claude rename. This is a hook I found on GitHub. Every time Claude Code finishes a command, it prompts Claude Code itself to give the session a brief name. You can see this one is named fix export hang main thread. This is oddly very helpful. Reason number 1 is here on the left side, the renames show, so I can quickly flip into here. So if I say, hey, I want to continue updating the settings, this name would appear here. If not, it would just show up as Claude Code. Also shows the name right here. So if I'm in, a 2x4 grid, I know which sessions are which. When there's a lot of code on the screen, it can get confusing, but this alleviates that confusion a ton. Tip number 3 is to enable remote sessions by default. In Claude Code, just type /config to see all your settings. Once you're in here, scroll all the way down. It's enable remote control for all sessions. Set that to true. This is super helpful when I'm building my app, Evex, your AI fitness coach. I could be at the gym, find a bug or add a feature, send a screenshot via the Claude Code mobile app. It can fix it, it can rebuild it. Then when I get home, my app instantly has the feature. Don't have to write it down somewhere else. Tip number 4 is to pair this with the Amphetamine app on Mac. I'm sure there's an equivalent on Windows, but this essentially lets your Mac stay awake while the hood is shut when you go away. I have the settings so whenever it's plugged into power, the sessions stay awake. Tip number 5 is to customize your Claude Code status line. That is this bar down here. Tells me a bunch of helpful information. Opus 4.7, what model I'm on, 1 million, what's my context window, X high, my effort level, 7%, what percent of my context window is filled. Lets me know if I need to compact soon. This will get yellow when it's above 60, red when it's above 80. Tells me what folder I'm in here, what branch I'm on, and when the session was last started. Some of these aren't exposed by default. You have to do your own command to run them. You might forget to check. You might compact automatically. I have this exact script as part of my Claude Code setup on my GitHub. Tip number 6 is to try out the no flicker setting in your Claude Code settings. You go to your global Claude Code settings here, add this to the environment section, Claude no flicker 1, and restart your Claude Code. And this defaults it back to a normal terminal experience. When you scroll up, you get this nice jump to bottom button if you go up too far. When you're typing a long input, you can click in to easily edit those lines, which you can't in the default Claude Code experience. You can also copy these very easily. Same with copying the output. This reduces, in my opinion, a lot of the friction that comes with Claude Code. Personally, I don't use these settings. I just got way too used to the terminal UI. But I'm glad I tried this out for a week. Moving on to the context management section, tip number 7 is to keep your CloudMD 200 lines or less. A quick warp flex, you can Command P to go to a file to show you this CloudMD. This one is only 140 characters. This is just a good rule of thumb because when your CloudMD gets bloated, that's gonna be extra tokens you're spending on every request. And while it is a good habit to update it, and I always encourage you to do so, you can just make sub documents that this CloudMD references. For instance, my style guide in my iOS app, I have a line in my Evex CloudMD to say, hey, when changing a style or making a new component, see at evexstyleguide.md for instructions. Tip number 8 is to compact when I'm usually at around 60% context. With my status line, we can see we're only at 12% here. If I wanted to, I could slash compact, or of course, slash clear to start a new chat. To show you a chat that has higher context, this one right here is at 70. Probably a good time to compact it or clear. Tip number 9 is to turn on recaps. It's the same thing in the slash config. Just go there and there should be a recap thing. Yep, session recap true. So it'll add auto recaps, goal, make all setting sheet icons white. Goes great with the name plugin we have right here to give, hey, what's this about? And also just a little more detailed view of what's going on. So if I pick up the session after a night's rest, I can easily identify what session's what I was going for. Tip number 10 is to ask Claude Code to generate task lists to complete sequential work. Here in my AI journal app, I want modals for weekly and quarterly reflection. So I made a whole paragraph what I want. At the end, you can see where I said you can generate a list of tasks for what needs to be done, then go through them. Once it understood the problem, you can see it writing its tasks on its own right here, getting to the first one of documenting the features, then it'll go through implementing them all and verifying in the last step like I requested. Now let's get into some daily commands and shortcuts. Some of these are quite simple, like tip number 11, which is the slash copy command. Super simple, but it saves me a ton. When you do it, it sometimes gives you this, what you want to copy, but I copy the full response and it's great so I can go into Google Docs and paste it and it's not broken text. For instance, if I just copied this, there'd be 2 spaces at the beginning of every line. Tip number 12 is the slash goal command. You set a condition and Claude Code will work on it on its own until it is complete. We did a whole video on this. Check my channel for an in-depth explanation, but this is great for large, ambitious tasks that you might want to run in the background and are okay waiting, hours even to get done. Be aware this will be a lot of token spend, but it's great for tasks like this one. Build an AI chat page with similar UI to ChatGPT. I might want this in my recruiting CRM I'm building for a client. Tip number 13 is the slash rewind command. Let's say your last prompt changed a lot of things and it wasn't quite what you wanted. Instead of saying, hey, not like that, do this, you can do rewind and it'll reset the Claude Code chat and your code to the previous state. That way you can reprompt it with a better prompt that'll get it done. Tip number 14 is to make the most of your hooks. I already showed you the hook for renaming sessions, but I have hooks for playing a noise when my sessions are done. And I have friends that get pretty creative with this. I keep it simple, but some of them do, hey, play Spotify when I have a session running and then pause it when it completes. Get creative with this. Tip number 15, I would go crazy without this, and that's to use voice input for your prompts. I use Talktastic. I'm not sponsored, it's free, does a fantastic job. I have a key bound to Option T. I click that, you'll see a little pink thing at the bottom, and locally this will transcribe my voice to text. I'll do this often for big features that I want, and then when I'm done, just click enter. Sometimes it takes a few seconds to load, but boom, there's my text. Tip number 16 is to make your own slash commands. These are going to be prompts that run on command with whatever you name it. So for example, I have scaffold app. This will quickly spin up a Next.js app with the tech I want. I also have slash tweet. If I'm working on something cool, I can type slash tweet. This will look at my past chats, see what I've done today, give me some ideas to post about. At work, I have some other things for reviewing people's MRs, docs to explain technical features to non-technical people. All right, let's go into some big game changers, power features. Tip number 17 is I use auto mode and use the X high effort. Auto mode does essentially everything but dangerous things. That's what formerly dangerously skip permissions did. Auto mode is exactly that, but it won't blow up your database. It'll catch itself before it does dangerous actions. X high is the level of high effort below max. What essentially this means is it'll work hard, be willing to spend more tokens to get tasks done. If you have infinite tokens, sure, go ahead and use max, but I really have no issues with X high. I'm on the $100 per month plan and really never hit that limit for the work I'm doing. Tip number 18 is to use the Chrome MCP. Another game-changing tool. Back to our task list we have here. Still working on it. But you can see the last task is Chrome MCP. This will allow Claude Code to actually access your Chrome tabs. So if I pull this up here, this tab group is claude-MCP. So it can click around, it can change through these pages, take screenshots, lets you verify the work. In this example, we are experimenting with app icons, so we can see exactly what it generated, get it pixel perfect for what I wanted to. Tip number 19 is the XcodeBuildMCP, which is very similar to Chrome MCP, but it can access your iPhone simulators for your Swift apps. Same thing as Chrome. I'll just say, hey, verify with XcodeBuildMCP. And it can use this simulator, click around, take screenshots, which is huge. It can also rebuild the app, launch on the simulator once changes are done, because Swift UI doesn't have hot reload. That saves you a lot of time. I have a whole video on this where I go in depth how to set it up. But if you're an app developer or thinking about getting into it, this will save you a ton of time. Tip number 20, Context7 MCP. This gives you access to documentation, the latest documentation on any library, feature, language that your model might not be trained on. I'll link in the description how to add it, but you can always go to /MCP. You can see it installed here. This was big for adding liquid glass, this bottom thing, to my application because the model wasn't trained on liquid glass, which had just released. So I said, hey, transition this bottom bar to liquid glass, refer to Context7 to get the docs on it, and it one-shotted it. Tip number 21 is to use a team of sub-agents to conquer multi-part tasks. This will give your prompt to a master agent who will then spin up lighter agents, each with their own context, to do different parts of the task, like UX research, security detail, code implementation, and each of these agents can work in parallel and communicate to each other to get the job done. That way you don't have one mega Opus agent doing everything one by one. In this example, I want to build a profile page for users. We can see what activity. So all you say is use a team of sub-agents to build this feature. Here we can see the main agent spun up here, and it's going to spin up another agent to explore the code base. And more agents would come in as more tasks are in flight. Tip number 22, I should make a whole video on this. It is to use HTML instead of Markdown for documentation. Instead of these large text Markdown files for exploring features in the beginning, like when you're doing planning, have it do HTML. And not just for visual stuff, but even just for system diagramming of your app. I have the skill called HTML docs, which has all the context and best practices to do this. As an example, I want to add to my meditation app an achievements page and also a stats page. So it said use the skill, generate some ideas for this. And then it gave me these diagrams I can actually see and interact with. So here we're gonna have some options for the achievements page. There should be stats page down here. Yep, I can click the ones I want. That way I don't have to re-describe which ones I picked. I can go back into the app, paste what I just copied, and it can get to work. Very easy to see what it wants to build. Tip number 23 is to use Git worktrees for parallel sessions. This ensures two or more features in flight don't clash with each other. They're on separate worktrees. Once they're done on those worktrees, you can merge them back into main one by one. Claude Code can do this on its own. Really helps resolve code conflicts, or if these two agents are fighting to edit the same file. For example, in that meditation app for the achievements page and the stats page, both of these might touch the same API. Both of these might touch the profile page. So I said which options to pick, and just at the end I say, hey, use a new Git worktree, use new Git worktree. So both these tasks will do that worktree, and then when it's done, I can easily merge them. No clashes. Tip number 24 is to use image inputs whenever possible. If I didn't like any of those HTML mockups I made for the stats page, I could do my own research, see what works for proven apps, and essentially just copy it and remix it to our own app. I like to use Dribbble a lot for inspiration. Honestly, even Pinterest, you can see some nice stats. This will look good for my fitness app, I think. So what I do is I just copy it and then go into Claude Code, paste it, and say, hey, use this for the stats page in our app as a reference. I do this all the time, multiple times a day, when I'm lacking inspiration or see an app I like and want to steal it for my own. There's also mobbin.com, which has a library of screenshots for most and a ton of popular apps, but I often just get the app myself, screenshot it, airdrop it. And tip 25, it's a broad one, but it's to use Claude Code for more than just coding. I had the issue where my exercise app did not have pictures for all the exercises. They didn't look this good at one point. They were just initials. So just said to Claude Code, hey, research the best image gen models, price how much it would take to populate our library, and then give me a prompt script we can run to do it for all our exercises. And then it ran it all through the Gemini Flash model, generated all 200 images, mapped them to the exercises, and boom, they're live in the app. Looks pretty good. Cost me, I think, $7 to do it all. Had I paid for a library, it'd be in the hundreds. So a great example of how it can do work on its own. That will do it for today's video. Let me know which of these tips you're gonna apply to your workflow. If you learned anything, you are obligated to like this video, subscribe for the latest AI workflows and updates on my personal projects. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.